Activision Blizzard issues update and clarification regarding diversity space tool. So there's been a bit of backlash because they are pretty much using a bot to diversify their characters so they hit the quotas correctly. That's how I understand it, but if you know better, please let me know in the comments section because this is really weird. I mean, we're getting to the stage now in technology where bots are just kind of doing everything for us. So what this does is, I'll show you a few screenshots, is it show gender identity, sexual orientation, socio-economic background, culture, race, age, cognitive ability, physical ability, body type, facial features, and beauty. And then you've got stats such as the culture, Egyptian, Arab, age, and then it puts points based on what their sort of stats are. So its gender identity is a woman, 5. So it's a 5 out of 10 woman. You know, she's okay. She's probably had better days when she was younger, but you know, she's still got it. And there's multiple characters here, as you can see. Anna, Ash, Bastion. I mean, what does Bastion identify as? I wonder. Maybe a garbage truck. And then this goes into more details of the overall stats. So gender, the men, women, morality is evil, good, neutral, role is damage, support, tank. And it shows you off how all of this is calculated. Is it a big deal? Is it just Blizzard being Blizzard and not like identifying how to identify things? Yeah, that's the way to put it. Because I'm just curious, like, this came up, Pracky let me know about this, and you guys in chat have been letting me know about this, and I just wonder what you guys think as well. So we'll read a little bit from this. Started in 2016, the diversity space tool, currently in beta, was designed as optional supplement to the hard work and focus our teams already place on telling diverse stories with diverse characters. But decisions regarding in-game content have been and always will be driven by development teams. So kind of what they're saying here is that their teams are sort of a little bit hard-pressed creating all of the diversity content and quotas that they need to meet. So they need a bot to tell them and help them along the way. Like, is this character black enough? Does this character have enough culture? You know, it comes across that way. The tool was developed at King and has been beta tested by several developers across the company, all of whom have provided valuable input. The objective of using the tool is to uncover unconscious bias by identifying existing norms in representation and acknowledging opportunities for growth and inclusion. It is not a substitute for any other essential effort by our teams in this regard, nor will it alter our company's diversity hiring goals. Over the past several years, the development of the tool was done with the support of all of our employees, and we collaborated with external partners to create an even more robust tool. So they're doubling down on this tool. The tool isn't meant to be used in isolation. Teams would sit down with companies' staff to identify existing norms and then discuss, educate, consult and collaborate on how a character's representation is expressed beyond those norms. This process is intended to create a conversation, well, it's certainly done that, where our developers, assisted by the tool, challenge assumptions, assess choices, and find opportunities for authentic representation to be fostered in our games. Activision Blizzard is committed to reflecting the diversity of... Well, we can see that if you... Well, kind of. Like, do we say they're trying? Is this them trying? Or should they just... I don't know. Are they not trying by getting a bot to do it? That's the thing. They put money and time and effort into the bot to do it for them, but then that takes away from actually just doing the job properly themselves. Committed to reflecting the diversity of its millions of players around the world through representation and inclusion in its games as well as its employees. Our intent with the blog entry was to share an in-progress piece of our journey in this endeavor. We recognize and respect that all people may not be on their own unique point in that journey. The Diversity Space Tool Diversity Space Tool is not a definitive evaluation of diversity in-game content. Rather, it's a bridging opening previously unspoken conversations into... This is such gobbledygook. What is this jargon I'm reading right now. It's just saying so much, but not really saying anything at the same time. How thoughtful inclusion can happen and thrive in games. Why do they need, like, the tools to... It doesn't seem that complicated, though. Like, just make a black character, make a Chinese character, make a Mexican character, make a white character, make whatever. Just... Maybe if you actually hired people from those locations who could then help you sort of create the characters themselves. In an ideal world, they would do it without being too egotistical and making the character too overpowered or something, or, you know, being biased. But if they had people in their company that could represent the characters in game, maybe, but we want to see ourselves represented in games. Yeah, well, they have been developing, I mean, hiring way more diverse people into their staff. Obviously, the main thing from my perspective, and most people's perspective, is just hire the person who's best for the job. I don't care if they're black, blue, white, whatever. Just concentrate on who's actually got the best qualifications and has proven themselves to be good at doing the job that they're being recruited to do. It's not that complicated, but that's where we get ourselves into a pickle these days, is because we don't, or companies don't tend to hire based on that. They hire on an agenda that is to meet certain Twitter profiles' quotas, rather than actually what will get the best job done. Began developing a method for guarding against unconscious bias and exclusion. It's like they're almost admitting to being racist here. It's like, guys, we were struggling. We were like being racist without even realizing it. So we needed this robot to say, hey, I see that you've only got one Mexican character in your game. You need at least 2 if you've got 18 characters. Do you see what I'm coming with this? That's how I'm reading it. You guys let me know, though, in the comment section, whether I'm crazy or not. But it seems that way. Obviously, I'm being very sort of sarcastic and tongue-in-cheek about the whole thing because it is silly. I don't think anyone should be getting massively upset about this. It's just Blizzard being Blizzard and the stupidity of how out of touch most companies are these days. Can you be surprised? I mean, really? So, I'm not sure there's really that much else to read here. Looking into all the ways the basic elements such as gender, body types, roles, heroes versus villains, and even such granular factors such as a pose or a body movement can suggest powerful things about a character one way or another. Cool, this is getting so over the top. It's like... The heroes versus villains thing is interesting because I wonder if the bot is designed to say, you can't make a black person a villain in 2022. Only white people must be selected for that role. Do you see where I'm coming from again? If we had to go off anything from recent sort of like movies and TV shows of what's currently happening, yeah. Oh dear, I don't need to read too much more into this because it's just getting too much jargon. But you get the general gist. It's a bit of a mess, really. We'll just have a quick look at some of the angry Twitter posts. So their original post is here. And see what the people have to say. Only French can be villains. Yeah, you could go down that road. What's the diversity score for being in a union? Activision's Blizzard is union busting in the middle of the union. Actually, yeah. It's normally good to sort of see a few jokes always slung at Blizzard for these kind of ridiculous occasions. I guess it's been a little while since Blizzard's been in trouble. You know, they certainly did go for a hot moment a few months back where it was like every day practically, or at least a few times a week, there was something ridiculous happening at that company. Avoid tokenism by placing a direct number on value on race or culture. How did you get this far and not realize how weird this is? It's the bot's fault. It's not the people's fault. It's the robot taking control. Skynet is dedicated to creating a fair, diverse community. How many freaking flags does this person have? That's always something to be concerned about, is when someone's got more than 0 flags as their Twitter profile. This is a really shitty way to view the world. It looks built on the assumption that every character should be white, cis, straight, male until you add the diversity point. That's not how people work. Considering hiring marginalized artists and letting them create what they want. Same old tokenism, new and improved formula. Does seem like people were kind of mad, doesn't it? There's some more flags. First, this is absolutely the worst thing I've ever seen. Is it really? Is it really the worst thing you've ever seen? Really? And I'm not sure if this is actually a very late April Fool's joke. Second, the fact you guys think Saria and Lucio are straight is incredibly funny. How is it funny if they're straight or gay? Like, who cares? Oh, I don't know. It's weird to me. I live in a different world to what the world has become, basically. What are the two extremes? I guess I'm kind of just like indifferent, I would say, more than anything. It's not like I'm super opposed. I'm just indifferent to like the ridiculousness of how people take this stuff so seriously. The Cosby suit, milking room, harass female co-workers. Alex Afrasiabi gets his own corner and union busting. That's the best one yet. Okay. Isn't this just Blizzard admitting they don't know what the fuck they're doing? Basically, yes. It looks like some panic control. But they said 2016, right? So that was before they got into all of the sort of kerfuffle. The main kerfuffle that occurred for Blizzard was like 2020 onwards. Obviously, things have happened before that point. I'm not saying it didn't. But from 2020, the shit really hit the fan for Blizzard, where they had to start cancelling BlizzCons and things like that. So, yeah. What do you guys think? It seems like a lot of nonsense to me, but it's still technically a real thing, so there is some concern that this was even done in the first place. But yeah, it's just people being out of touch, just being more out of touch. Do you know what I mean? That's what it comes across to me. Anyway, thanks for watching.